Hi guys, as you can see I have a Bentley Continental GT in the workshop today. I've had quite a lot of Bentley Continental GTs in and they're always in for the same issue, which is the sagging headlining problem. Now that's not just a Bentley thing, all cars of a certain age have the same problem. But obviously this being a soft top convertible, it's not in for that reason. There is a little bit of dirt on the headliner of this, which is going to need cleaning, but it's just where it gets folded up and goes into the back, it drags against part of the interior trim, and it's just dirt from the interior trim on that, that's all. So it's not going to be too hard to remove, I hope. This is quite a low mileage example, 18-year-old car with only 45,000 miles on the clock, so 2,500 miles a year, which is not a lot really. It's a pristine car on the outside. The rear seats are absolutely immaculate. I think they've probably sat in like 3 or 4 times. But the driver's seat has a little bit of wear on it. It's not terrible wear, but the owner of this car, he's a regular customer of mine. I've done quite a few of his cars. I wouldn't say he's fussy, he just likes his cars to be nice on the inside. The interior isn't terrible at all. It's relatively clean, but the driver's seat it seems to have a little bit more wear than the 45,000 miles would suggest. But the first thing I need to do is to remove the seat because it's having a little bit of extra padding in the bolster on the driver's side. There's some broken stitching and dirt and just general creases, wear creases really. Nothing major, but the owner would like it tidied up. So the first thing I'm going to do is drop the roof, remove the seats, put the seat on the bench, and then once that's on the bench I can assess it properly. I will need to take the cover off just so I can actually get some extra padding into that bolster. But once I've got the seat out, I'll put it on the bench and I'll show you the wear on the driver's seat. So that's the seat now out of the car. Grubby, it's not dirty, but it's grubby. There is the standard wear here on the outside of the backrest bolster. That's just standard, that's just the seat belt doing that constantly and wearing away at this seam here. Not terrible, but that's going to need touching up. The thread here has broken. Someone has tried to repair it here. They've put in some blue thread, but it's a different colour blue. This is a dark navy. This is more getting on for being more royal blue. So it's obvious that it's been done. So I'm going to unstitch the whole of this seam here and the whole of this seam here and replace the whole lot so it all matches, because nothing worse than actually having mismatched seams. So that's going to be a long, laborious task. I'm going to put a little bit more padding in this bolster. It's just a bit flat on the top, that's all. So I just need to build it up on this face here just to bring the height up a little bit so the seam sits in a correct position. It's a little bit squashed. But first job, I'm going to give it a bit of a clean, then just that'll give me a better idea of what's going on, where are the problems, what is dirt, what is wear, and then I will touch up anything that I need to touch up. I don't want to go mad with this. I don't want to make it look absolutely perfect, because it won't match the rest of the interior. It'll stand at a mile. But a good clean and a little bit of a touch up in places will help a lot. I think there's just a lot of dirt in the cracks. I don't think the leather has worn anywhere, so a good clean will help with that. I will need to remove the plastics around the seat to actually get the cover off. I'm not going to set the backrest apart. That will be absolutely fine. So I'll get on with cleaning this and I'll come back to you once I've given it a clean, and I'll see exactly what needs to be done. So I've cleaned the seat. It's looking a lot better. A lot of the cracks now that they're not actually cracks, they're, well, yeah, slight crack creases. They had dirt inside them, so it makes them look a little bit more obvious. Now that I've cleaned them, they're less obvious. But like I said earlier, I don't want this to look brand new because it will just make the other seats look out of place. I just want to tidy it up, fix the broken stitching. I've done the seat bolster seam here, already done that. I now need to do this long seam here on the backrest bolster. Now we have at least one broken stitch. We may have more, I don't know yet, but until I unstitch the whole of this, because it has been repaired before. Someone has repaired this section here, and what they've done at both ends looks absolutely terrible. So I don't want that. I want it to be one complete row of stitching, then it will look like it should do. So broken stitches here, so I'm going to have to hand stitch a press stitch back in there, hold that in place with a tiny bit of super glue. I'm going to give this bolster a little bit of a touch up. I've mixed up a colour, and there's a few marks here and these creases at the bottom. All I want to do is just make them less obvious. I'm not going to completely recolour this whole bolster. I'm just going to touch it up in places and then blend it in. The colour that I've made up, I've watered down. It is a water-based colour. I've watered it down so it's not going to go on really heavy. I'm going to just build up the coats and just get it to a point where it looks better. Not, like I say, not perfect. I don't want it to be perfect because the whole car's not perfect. The passenger seat has got wear. I want to kind of even out the wear on this so it looks more like the passenger seat. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of colour to the bad area, the little scuffs here, one there, one there. Just with a little bit of foam, I'm just going to stipple that, and that'll just blend that in. Same there. Same there. I'm going to let that dry and then just do another coat of that. I'm just going to apply a little bit here and just the same. Just blend that in. So while that's drying, I'm just going to unpick the whole of this. So I'm assuming they've put a knot in somewhere here. So I have to be quite gentle. I don't want to break any more of the original stitching. So this repair wouldn't have looked quite as bad if the thread actually matched. It was nowhere near. It's a blue, but it's not the same blue. need to fix this broken stitch here. We've got the end of it here and the other end of it there, but it's, I think we can get away with that bit there. So I've now repaired that stitch there. That should hold. I'm just now going to stitch the whole of this, just like I did with this one here. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. It's going to be quite boring and time consuming.